On August 8th, this tweet from Ryan McCaffrey was posted to Twitter and racked over 1 million views, with a lot of comments saying they agree, many comments defending VR, and many comments being worried about the future of VR. So today I want to talk about what I think Sony is going to be doing, as well as why I don't think anybody that owns VR now should have any worry about where VR is going, especially with the projects that have already released this month and will be releasing this month to the PlayStation VR, as well as VR as a whole. Let's start by talking about why you shouldn't be worried. Now, VR development is very hard, and my guess here is Ryan McCaffrey doesn't necessarily understand how much harder VR development is versus flat screen development. With flat screen development, all you need to do is walk in, press X, and your character will do its motion to pick it up. It doesn't matter how it picks it up. It could literally be a fixed camera behind your character, and you pressing X to pick something up just makes them move down a little bit and moves their arm to the left. That's it. In VR, you need to have the ability to move your arms, move your head, that 6 degrees of freedom that we get in virtual reality. And when I grab something, it needs to feel authentic. It needs to be placed and able to be grabbed in such a way that I believe that it's something that I'm actually doing and actually living in, if that makes sense. So development for Half-Life Alyx actually went really, really rough for the first few months because they had to make an entire program specifically for grabbing objects in that game. It made it so that it would have a physics point wherever you grabbed it, and then from there would do calculations when you threw that object. It would also do a calculation on where you grabbed it, making it so that you could grab it just about anywhere, regardless of what the item was. Now, we don't see that a lot in VR, but that takes a lot of CPU power as well as a lot of programming and development just for one little tiny feature. So when people say that there's not a lot of games in VR, VR games take time to develop. If you don't think that anything's coming, you're sadly mistaken, because this last month alone, we got Synapse, we're getting Firewall Ultra later this week, and we're getting Crossfire Sierra Squad at the end of the month. So we're still getting high quality PlayStation VR 2 titles coming out every month. Just because it's not coming from Sony doesn't mean that Sony has abandoned PlayStation VR 2. Sony, in fact, is more than likely holding their cards very close to their chest when it comes to PlayStation VR 2, due to the sheer fact that they have first-party titles in development for this game, for this piece of equipment, but they don't want to put them out there in the ethos until they know that they are going to be ready. Whenever Sony does any sort of announcement or release or anything like that of a game trailer, they make sure that at bare minimum, they have a year for us. Right now, nothing that's in development has a year. Recently, we heard in a shareholders call that a lot of games are being pushed back, a lot of their first-party titles, which it is what it is. A lot of people are having delays. I think the flat screen game sphere as a whole is going through a massive change right now, and I think a lot of developers are really heads down on a lot of projects. So I have not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that we're going to get something amazing from Sony. And if it's not from Sony, it's going to be from some third-party developer that Sony's working with. Look at what they did with Capcom, Resident Evil 8 on PlayStation VR 2, and we're also getting Resident Evil 4 remastered for a VR version from that game as well. So if Sony's not doing it, Sony is working with someone that's doing it. So we don't need to be worried about VR's future. It's still in its infancy, it's still growing, we're still getting things, but if you're someone that only plays AAA experiences, VR is not going to be it for you right now. VR is very indie. It's very small studios, very small teams getting into it. It's rare that we see a team of, 100 plus people working on a VR project. So that being said, I don't think at all, without any fiber of my being, you need to worry about what's going on with your PlayStation VR and if Sony has killed it off. That being said, if you agree, let me know in the comments below. My name is Butter Something. I want to thank everyone that took the time to get this far. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video.